This Breeders' Cup preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by First Bet, the official horse racing partner of SGPN. Sign up today at the number one stbet.com and use the promo code SGPN for a $250 sign up bonus.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Real digital horseman, Kramer.
Oh wow,
Please.
yes,
Please.
the digital pony.
Bring the correct name.
Remind people where they can check out you and Bowser's Digital Pony Show
On this very YouTube channel, Run
Great.
for the Roses. Also, check out Photo Finish. DM me. We can talk about having sex with our digital horses. Not us
He's one
with
of
the
those
horses,
guys
but
who
our
won't
horses
get
together.
penetration.
Yeah, no, a fun little digital horse racing thing we got cooking up over there.
And we will be live a special time Thursday before Thursday Night Football. Might have some Breeders' Cup picks as well. I might just be copying the picks from this episode and re-giving them out on that episode, but we'll see.
Not the most compelling tease, Ryan.
No,
But
but people will find it if they want it. You can't force people into digital horse racing.
yeah, but
if I've learned one thing,
today's episode, all analog horse racing.
yes,
Awesome episode. We're going to be joined later by our good buddy Randy Moss from NBC Sports, talking all things ponies, Breeders' Cup. Always great to get his perspective. Very smart, fun guy. To love having him on the show, chopping it up. But in the meantime, we are going to talk to our own horse racing experts, and of course, he's brought to you by First Bet. Again, go to the number one stbet.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a $250 sign up bonus. Perfect for the Breeders' Cup. Joining us on the line, he is the Wolf of Oaklawn from the Notorious OTB podcast. Look at you, Wolf. You are looking sharp. You got the Notorious OTB merch on. It's looking awesome. The hat looks great. The hoodie. You got some new fresh glasses. Just all fired up here for the Breeders' Cup. How you doing, Wolf?
I'm good. I feel like I've glowed up significantly since I saw you last during the Belmont week. But yeah, doing well. It's a busy time of the year, so I'm sweating Americano and Adderall at this point. So yeah,
I love it.
Love the chain. Reminds me of Jackson Dart a little bit.
Oh wow,
Looks good. Yeah, very nice.
well now I can't wear it, and you said Jackson Dart.
yeah.
come
Come on. He's an you're an Arkansas
Yeah, it
guy,
doesn't
so
matter.
you don't want to
can-
be celebrating some Ole Miss.
He can
quarterback.
appreciate Jackson Dart. He's gone.
Ole Miss is a great university, of course. AJ Brown, great alumni there. But let's talk all things analog ponies. Give people a little backstory. Breeders' Cup. Anything in particularly interesting about this year's run in the Breeders' Cup? Of course, taking place this weekend down in San Diego. But give people a 30,000-foot view of the Breeders' Cup. Wolf.
Sure. This is one of the richest days in horse racing. Spread over 2 days and 14 races. You have the Breeders' Cup races, starting with the 2-year-olds, the juveniles on Friday, and then the big horses run Saturday. So it's like the Super Bowl, but you do it 14 times over the course of 2 days.
Love it.
I will say this, it does seem like the TMZ time to be into horse racing is for the big races in the spring, like most of us. This is when a real horseman has his
Well,
holiday.
this is in golf. They have the 5th major, and it feels like Breeders' Cup. While it's not part of the Triple Crown, if there was a quadruple crown, it would certainly be the Breeders' Cup, right, Wolf?
I mean, yeah, you place it above certain races that happen during the summers, like the Travers and things like that. People get really excited about the Breeders' Cup. So I'm going to say it'd be the 4th jewel of a weekend.
I'd almost put it. I think people who consider themselves real horsemen, not TMZ horsemen, would maybe put it even higher. Maybe number 1,
higher than the Triple Crown.
Well, you're.
That's insane, Ryan. You got.
I'm just saying. Some
Wolf,
people
tell Kramer he's
some
crazy.
People.
You don't have a bigger horse race in the world than the Kentucky Derby.
A single race, but the 14 races we get on Breeders' Cup weekend are better than any single card.
I mean, it's an excellent weekend of racing.
Yes.
I think in terms of just the general public's knowledge of it, you could run up to anybody in the street and be like, "Hey, what's the Kentucky Derby?" And they'd be able to tell you. Not everyone really kind of follows it enough to know what the Breeders' Cup is, even though, like, for us, it's like a band that you like and being into it before it was cool. That's kind of how the Breeders' Cup is for us.
And it does feel like the Breeders' Cup is on the come up. They are certainly growing in popularity, and it's going to be a fun weekend of races. All right, let's get going here. Talk some horse picks. Friday. What are we doing? I see we have the race 9 you want to talk about. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile. It's on dirt, 9.5 furlongs. What do we like here, Wolf?
So this race is important because these are the 2-year-old horses. They'll be 3 years old next year, which means that they'll be eligible for the Triple Crown. More than likely, whoever wins this race is going to be your early betting favorite for the Kentucky Derby and futures pools. There should be 2 horses that absolutely dominate in this race and likely go 2. And if you believe in speed figures, then this is definitely a 2-horse race. It comes down to the number 7 Brant at 5-2 for Bob Baffert, and the number 8 Ted Noffey, who sounds like an accountant, at 4-5. And I don't think you really have to go further down the line than those top 2 choices on the morning line. And I'm going to try to maximize, which is a little bit of a chalky pick, by taking my horse I like and using it in an exact as well as a daily double in the going into the next race, the finale for the day. I really like Brant for Bob Baffert. If you look at what this horse did in its first start, it ran a 101 buyer figure, which is for those out there, the higher the number, the better, obviously. And that's lightning quick for a horse making its first start. What I like even better is that in its next start out, the horse had a lot of trouble. Like it was in tight, it brushed the gate, and it managed to still perform and win with that. So I know that this horse can run when it's up against it. So I really like Bob's horse here, Brant, and I'm going to be playing it to win. Then I'm going to get a little bold with the exacta and say if Ted Noffey doesn't win, he definitely finishes second, and play a 7-8 exacta. And then I'm going to play a daily double 7 with 9 and 12. 9 are the horses that I like in the juvenile turf that immediately follows this race. So the 9 Argo Botas are the 2 horses that I'm going to try to connect. Because sometimes when you have these really chalky picks, the best way to actually make money out of them is to either take them horizontal, meaning a multi-race wager, or try to key them on top in an exacta or a trifecta. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm doing both. I'm going to try to key in the exacta 7 with 8, and then I'm going to try to key in the daily double 7 with 9 and 12.
All right, lots to unpack here. So in the daily double, you have Brant, and then what race is the later one and the horse number there?
That is going to be race number 10, the Breeders' Cup Juvie, and I'm going to use the number 9 Argos and the number 12 Botas. It's a 8 furlong turf race.
Okay, lot to unpack here, Ryan.
When he says turf, he means grass.
Yes,
okay.
yes. All right. So we got Brant as a nice chalky favorite, but you like tying him to some other stuff here to because you
maximize value.
And eating chalk is it should be. I always get hung up taking the chalk, but you should just take your medicine because it's a good price, and I'm not going against Brant. Kramer, any thoughts here?
I mean, we also have a chat with our guest later about this race. No, I think what I was curious, and I'm glad Chase threw out a daily double, because I thought the best way for us to maximize, being as we'll be in Vegas, is to make sure we load up on daily doubles throughout the day. Maybe a whatever. What are they going to be offering? A pick? Do like a pick 4, pick 5. Really put out some stuff.
Oh yes, going to be loading up.
So basically,
the first bet account.
My opinion is going to be like, great. This sounds great. I now have numbers for race 9, 10. So yeah, we'll just continue collecting and putting together crazy ass parlays.
So any other? We talked about 9 and 10 here on Friday. Any other Friday races you think worth highlighting, or are we moving on to Saturday?
Oh, we're moving on to Saturday. It's a tough card on Friday, I will say. I think if there's a day of the Breeders' Cup that goes like insane, it might be Friday, because you have such young horses. There's not a lot of history with them running. So if you're going to play Friday other than this race, all I say is dream big. Just dream big and try to tie yourself to a rocket.
Not a problem. So Friday is when we're firing on some long shots. It sounds.
Well, we did see that actual data. We like the payouts in the Breeders' Cup for every type of bet essentially are larger than your average, which of course you take the average over all of North America, and that's, you're going to have a lot of crappy races in there with heavy favorites, and that's where you get that kind of jobber. But yeah, I mean, that was one of the promotional elements of the Breeders' Cup, is come win more money betting on the Breeders' Cup. And so that kind of lines up with Chase's dream big, and look at those chains on his neck.
Yes,
he's living it.
This is not a man eating chalk with that Cuban. Is that called a Cuban link?
Yeah, well, it's a Cuban link, and then this is a nice little tennis chain with the wolf pendant.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, Werewolves London. All right, I always think of that song whenever I see your wolf necklace. All right, Saturday. Race 7, we got the Breeders' Cup distaff running on dirt 9 furlongs. What are we doing here?
Distaff sounds like some sort of disease.
Yes.
Right.
Bad case of the distaff.
Yeah, it's like something you gotta
case of the distaff.
Yeah, they gotta cut your skin and like get some pus out.
Oh God.
Anyway.
So with this race, this is the you would call them the older female filly and mare division. The question this race is, who's going to challenge the high cruising speed of the number 8 Seismic Beauty, who's the favorite for guess who? Bob Baffert again. This one's 9-5 on the morning line. This horse can run really fast for a really long time, but I think it's going to struggle because there will be a few horses that only have a chance to win if they press the early pace and try to run fast early and try to run the rest of the field off their feet. There's a couple of horses like the 7 Gin at 12-1, the 9 Majestic Oops at 30-1, and the 11 Dry Powder. They should be all up close, possibly pushing Seismic Beauty a little bit faster than she wants to go. And Seismic Beauty has been beating up on weaker competition and much smaller fields of like 5 horses. And only one of the horses in those weaker fields actually went on to win its next start. I'm going to be playing the 12 Darth Vader at 5-1 to upset the Bob Baffert party on Saturday. And Darth Vader should be sitting just off of the early pace of the 4 horses I mentioned that want the front end. And I think she's going to have enough closing kick late to finish. And while Darth Vader finished second last out in the personal ensign at Saratoga, it's worth noting that she finished second to a name that I'm sure you guys might even remember, Torpedo Anna, who just absolutely dominated this division. So second by nose to Torpedo Anna, and I think another step forward in speed figures, like she's kind of been building to, puts her in a very competitive spot. So I'm going to be playing Darth Vader to win, and then of course I'll be using On Top and an Exacta along with the 1 and 8 in that race.
Wolf mentioned Bob Baffert, and I forgot, Ryan, that I didn't have my horse racing glasses on. I don't know how we could do a horse racing.
I was going to say something, but I didn't want to be that guy. Be like, hey,
no,
next time,
totally
be that
forgot.
Guy. Usually we have Malcolm, and he has no problem being that guy.
Yeah, he's Malcolm couldn't make it. He had to fix some bowling matches behind some pubs in England, so could not He's the Terry Rozier of pub bowling match fixing. So couldn't make it, but I think he sent you a couple plays, Wolf. Maybe we can get to those or whenever you feel like tossing those in.
He walks so Chauncey Billups can run.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, fading the chalk here. Now, Bob Baffert is not banned from the Breeders' Cup, right? I know he was banned from some of the races there for a little
That's
while.
over now.
It's just a track by track basis, right?
Yeah, it's a track by track basis, and a couple of the tracks kind of reciprocated what Kentucky was doing whenever they banned him out following the positive test from Medina Spirit. But he's welcome at the Breeders' Cup. If you think there might be something squirrely going on, I'll just say that they have their own testing, and it's probably some of the best testing in the world. So it's on the up and up, I think, with Bob.
I do like Ryan. Remember,
he is a left coast guy.
Remember in the NFL, the guy who got busted for using the Whizzinator? I like that. To me, would be a very great visual if a horse got busted for using like a fake Whizzinator.
Who was that?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was a pass rusher.
Yeah, I want to say. I wanted to say. Oh, geez, yes. Ontario Smith was Minnesota Vikings. He was caught with the original.
They found it at the airport, didn't they?
Yeah, which of all the places. That's funny. Like, why does the airport care?
Yeah, that's a great
There's
question.
At least one job I can name that I wouldn't have gotten had I not Whizzinated. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Kramer can take you down that rabbit hole as well.
Smoking my weed.
You always got the corporate jobs worrying about the although cannabis is much more widely accepted now. All right, so you got Darth Vader, and then the exact you have Darth 12 with the 1 and then the 8. Is that what we like here? All right.
Yep, the 1 nitrogen and the 8. Let me get you the name. Was Seismic Beauty, the Bob Baffert horse that we're trying to beat.
So you think Seismic Beauty is still going to be up there in the mix, but not taking it home. You like Darth Vader to get it done. I just Darth Vader, all-time name there. And moving along to the race, everyone's going to be talking about the Breeders' Cup Classic, 10 furlongs, $7 million. Race 9. Now the big news, Wolf, is that Sovereignty not going to be out there. How does that impact your handicapping? Does that create some opportunities? What do we think about the Breeders' Cup itself?
Yeah, so Sovereignty spiked earlier this week, and they just reported, I guess, or a little bit earlier today, that he's definitely a scratch. Sovereignty was your Kentucky Derby winner, your Belmont winner, your Travers Stakes winner, and I think likely would have actually won the Triple Crown if they had entered that horse in the Preakness. It seems to me, though, that Sovereignty could have been beatable in this race. And I think that there are other horses that are going to be who are going to be more favored, I think are beatable as well. The reason being is that a lot of these horses that are going to be favored like to start from way back in the field and try to close late. There's not going to be that quick of a early pace to give them anything to run into. So I'm looking at the front end of this race, and it wouldn't be a horse racing episode of the Sports Gambling Podcast if I didn't tout a Japanese horse. And that's exactly how this shit is going down. Cause I like the number 5 Forever Young at 6-1. This was my Derby pick a couple years ago. Shipping back over to the United States following a win in the Saudi Cup and then a 3rd place finish in the Dubai World Cup against some of the very best race horses in the world. Following that, Forever Young ships back to Japan, where he easily handled the field in the little tune-up. And I don't think that anybody nearly wants to go with him for the front in this race, because he's got a very high cruising speed. And I think that he's able to take this field, if not gate to wire, then by very, very close to the early pace. I'm going to bet to win for Forever Young. And I'm going to key Forever Young in first place in exacta with 3 of the horses that I kind of mentioned that are going to be starting from a little bit further back. The first one being the number 1 Fierceness at 4-1. That's the horse that's going to be closest to the early pace set by Forever Young. The number 2 Baeza at 15-1. This one was the 3rd wheel behind Sovereignty and Journalism all spring. If you look at the Kentucky Derby, it went Sovereignty, Journalism, Baeza. If you look at the Belmont, it went Sovereignty, journalism by Asa. And so I this one is actually kind of into itself a little bit more, but I don't get to win. I just like it to finish in the money along with Forever Young. And then I'm going to use the number 7, Sierra Leone, and 8-1 underneath below Forever Young, because I mean, this was your Breeders' Cup Classic winner last year. And while I think he's definitely got some chops, I don't think he's got the benefit of a very hot pace to run into late. So I'm taking Forever Young to win and then playing the exacta 5 with the 1-2-7.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Ryan.
Shout out to the Hastronaut and Japan.
Yeah.
I know Japan's a big digital horse guy.
Oh, he's
big fan of digital horses.
Yes. No. 100%.
Loves regular horses too.
Who doesn't love a good regular analog horse? All right, Ryan, anything you want to toss in here for the Saturday Breeders' Cup Classic? I mean, I like where Chase's head is at.
I'll be honest, before we talk to anyone, I Forever Young, I've already had memories betting large sums of money on, so I'm just going to run that back. So I guess now that I agree with Chase, it makes me feel better about it. And I think what I'm going to do this week, just to make it interesting, I'm thinking we'll get a football sized paper ticket on Forever Young to win this race, Sean. Really have a nice sweat for the weekend at the Circa. I'm sure they're going to offer some markets for us at the Circa. Even though they typically don't offer us ponies, they will have some futures, I would imagine, on the Classic and maybe a couple others. That's going to be my move.
It sounds fun. Yes, obviously my plays
simplify. You know,
I'm going to be tailing. Forever Young, great pick. I'm in, and Darth Vader. What's not to like there? Is there any other horses out there that we should be keeping an eye on here? Wolf, maybe another race, just another random flyer, a long shot, DGen play, any other horses before we let you out of here?
I wish I could say that I've got some just like huge, like 60-1 shot on deck, but I'm still trying to digest just the fire hose of information that comes at you this entire week. So right now I'm just rolling what I got with you guys.
Well, and that's a great tease, and that's a great reminder for everyone to check out the Notorious OTB podcast, daily picks podcast. A bunch of great horse racing picks. Him and Barry the Sniper Spears do a great job. Download it wherever you get your podcasts. And it was great having you on here, Wolf, as always. And looking forward to the spring season of horse racing. But between now and then, there's obviously a ton of events. What's kind of next in the horse racing calendar?
You know, the next thing is going to be all of like the Kentucky Derby prep races, where it's not necessarily one big race somewhere, but there's a bunch of smaller races, and they all qualify. You know, are all points earning for qualifying for the Kentucky Derby. Which, by the way, I wanted to mention while Barry is at the BC because he's got it like that. I have a special guest host who's joined me today and for the rest of the week. Sarah El Badwi, if you know Talking Horses, she's on that. She's also on America's Day at the Races at Fox Sports.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome collection of horse talk on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network.
And I'll get unsolicited endorsement of the show. Scott Bowser, all the time is reminding me how much he loves Notorious OTB.
Yeah, and great reason.
He goes, "You should listen today. You know, it's only 10 minutes."
No, it's a great, fun episode. Always enjoy hearing Wolf and Barry break things down. All right, man. Well, appreciate you calling in. And until next time, good luck at the races there. Kramer, we're going to be joined by our guests here in just a second. But reminder, this bonus podcast Breeders' Cup coverage is brought to you by our new partners over at First Bet. That's the number one, stbet.com. Great option for all your horse handicapping. And again, they got all the races. They got sweet sign up bonuses. I'm seeing get a $10 bonus on select tracks in October. They have a Del Mar qualifier prize for $1,000. There are just a bunch of fun opportunities. And besides that, you also get the $250 sign up bonus when you use our promo code SGPN. So head over to the number one, stbet.com, and use that promo code SGPN. Joining us on the line, horse racing expert from NBC Sports, Randy Moss. Randy, thanks for hopping on, man. Happy Breeders' Cup.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate the info, but the intro, but the reality is the only experts in this sport have 4 legs. That's what I always
Oh,
say.
I like that. I like that.
That's what
They're
I always say.
that's right. We got to pick that up as horse racing guys. Anytime you get complimented, anytime they talk about a jockey, a trainer, all glory goes to the four-legged.
Yeah, best handicapper with 2 legs.
I do like the idea of like a horse who is also an expert at handicapping other horses. Is there
a Far Side cartoon?
Yeah, or just maybe.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah, or maybe there's a horse who, oh, hey, if this horse seems to buddy up against this horse, keep an eye on this.
I did just read about us humans dabbling with the idea of trying to make non-intelligent species smarter. So making a horse smart enough to read a racing form, now that would be excellent stuff.
Oh, Mr. Ed was pretty close years ago. Randy, lot to get to, of course, Breeders' Cup. Let's just start there. If someone is newer to horse racing, maybe like, why is the Breeders' Cup so important? It's right up there with the Triple Crown, but what's the appeal of the Breeders' Cup to the casual fan looking to hop in this weekend?
Yeah, it's like an international all-star game for horse races, for horse racing. We get so many countries represented, but some of the very best horses from Ireland, from England, from all over Europe. We've got the best dirt horse in Japan, who could be the best dirt horse in the world, who's back over here this year. And then you've got, every major racehorse that's healthy and well that runs in the United States. So, and it's a smorgasbord for people that love to gamble.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
And it's October 29th, and you get to be in beautiful San Diego, Del Mar. The weather's fantastic.
Yeah, no, great. Yeah, if you can make it out, certainly check it out. You sent over the average payouts, Breeders' Cup races versus the North American races, and from the win, play, show, exacta, pick 3, pick 4, whatever it is, the Breeders' Cup races payouts are significantly higher than the North American average. What causes that?
So many options.
Yeah,
I know you guys know this, and your viewers know this for the most part, your listeners too, but when you're betting casinos, it's you against the house. When you're betting sports, you're going up against the line that's set by the betting people that are really, really, really good at what they do, right? Setting the spreads and setting everything for NFL and for college football. Horse racing, pari-mutuels, it's me against you, and the odds are determined by the percentage of money that each horse takes in the mutual pool. If a horse has got 20% of the money bet, he's 4-1. He's got 25%, he's 3-1. But when you have 14 horses in a race that all have a good record and they're all quality horses, there's so many options that the price goes up on all of them. The percentage gets spread around. And so the payoffs are much more generous typically at the Breeders' Cup than in a normal horse race.
A lot less chalk and more like more feasible winners. I think also it really is the all-star angle was a good one because it is, unfortunately, it's jammed in the middle of football season. I think that's why it doesn't get as much attention.
But but again, this is we talk about the sports equinox where you got baseball, NHL hockey. Now put in the Breeders' Cup. Friday is just going to be an all-time gambling run, Ryan.
Friend of the program, Scott Bowser, told me he couldn't record a show on Friday because he's got a busy day sitting at the book watching horse races and everything else.
You get Breeders' Cup, you get World Series, you get college football, NHL, NBA. It is I know. and having the Breeders' Cup on top of it.
We'll be in Vegas too. My goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be
dangerous.
It's going to be an all.
Wow.
It's going to be an all-time Friday. Let's start with Friday at the Breeders' Cup. A bunch of races there Friday. Obviously, the main event is on Saturday. But any races, any horses worth highlighting for you, Randy, on Friday there?
Well, the interesting thing about Friday from a gambling perspective, guys, is that you've got 3 grass races and 2 dirt races. Okay, all for 2-year-olds, all for the youngsters. Some of the horses that might be running in next year's Kentucky Derby. And European horses, grass racing is their forte. They don't have real dirt racing in Europe. Our expertise, our horses, our best horses run on dirt for the most part, and all of their good horses run on grass. So they come over here and bring their best grass horses to the Breeders' Cup and just kick our asses for the most part. I mean, the Breeders' Cup Turf, which is the championship race on grass on Saturday, 21 out of the last 26 years, it's been won by Europeans.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's
okay?
yeah.
And so you've got a couple of horses that are coming from Ireland. There's an outfit called Coolmore in Ireland. That's a global powerhouse. Trainer Aidan O'Brien is tied with Wayne Lucas for 20 Breeders' Cup wins in their career. That's at the very top of the list. And he's got 2 horses, Precise, running in the juvenile fillies turf, the best 2-year-old filly in all of Europe, and a horse called Stad running in the juvenile turf for males. And he's one of the best over there. And they drew horrible post positions. Terrible. They're going to be big favorites, but Precise starts in post 13 in a 13-horse field, and Stad starts in post 14 in a 14-horse field.
Back up against the rail. You don't want to be there.
That's big. That's a big disadvantage, and they're both going to be solid favorites, especially Precise in the juvenile fillies turf. She could be 6-5, and it's those are horses that it might be wise just because of the post position to try to take a shot against. In the juvenile fillies turf, there's a horse on the rail while Precise is stuck way out there in the parking lot. There's a horse on the rail from post 1 called Ultimate Love, who's a perfect 3-for-3 lifetime. She's looked visually really good in her races. And she's going to be 8-1 or 10-1 or something like that. So to me, that's a nice alternative to having to worry about how wide Precise is going to be around the price. She may be so good, she just blows by them all anyway.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
so Ultimate Love, a horse to look after. And it does see, and so the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, these are horses to kind of watch moving into the Kentucky Derby next year, right?
Yeah, you'll get a couple typically every year, sometimes 3 out of the juvenile that wind up running in the Kentucky Derby. And sometimes you might even have the Kentucky Derby favorite. This year, it's an East-West showdown. It's often that way. You don't get the East and the West Coast horses typically mingle until you get to races like the Triple Crown races, the Kentucky Derby, and you get the Breeders' Cup. So you've got the best in the East Coast, which is a horse named Ted Nafi, and the best in the West Coast, which is a horse named Brant, trained by Todd Pletcher, Bob Baffert, right? Brant was a $3 million purchase. So he's got the blue-blooded pedigree. And they're running. Ted Nafi will be the favorite. Brant will be the second choice. But you got Baffert, you got California. Brant will probably set the pace. It's going to be a nice showdown.
Yeah, no, I know our horse guy likes Brant there at 5-2. Maybe put him in a exacted there. That's certainly going to be a fun way to start out the Friday. And Juvenile Love, that's a nice long shot. Maybe USA
Ultimate Love.
Ultimate Love. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Juvenile Race.
Yes.
Juvenile Love, probably not a great horse name.
We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about
I didn't know Diddy was in the game.
Yeah, that's a whole other kettle of fish. All right. What about Saturday, the main event itself? Or we can start. Do you have any thoughts here on the Breeders' Cup Distaff? Do you have any thoughts on that race there, Rainey?
I got thoughts on every race.
Oh, that's why we have you on.
Crazy. Look, at the Breeders' Cup Distaff, Baffert has got a horse called Seismic Beauty, who just ran a hole in the wind in 2 races in a row. Okay. She doesn't look quite as good as she did going into those 2 races. She's a front runner who needs the lead to be at her best. And there's a couple of horses inside of her that could push her early. And so I think as a favorite, she's a horse to kind of try to take a shot against. And there's a horse in the race that I really like. If Seismic Beauty was going to make another easy lead, it'd be a great exacta. But I think Darth Vader, not Darth Vader, Vader. Dorothy is one of the owners, so that's why they named it Darth Vader.
Great name.
And she's got an outstanding chance to win. She's really clicking on all cylinders right now. And Seismic Beauty will probably be 7-5 or 8-5, and Darth Vader might be 7-2, 4-1.
Yeah. Then again, Ryan, this is great because
as someone who's gotten in the horse game recently, albeit digital horses, the name, I do respect the great name.
Darth Vader, all time. Well, that's also interesting. You're a huge Darth Vader fan, and your name's Dorothy?
Yeah, it's very good.
But this is great news because our horse guy Chase also likes Darth Vader, Ryan. So if we get Chase and Randy Moss aligning on some picks, I'm feeling pretty good. What about the Breeders' Cup Classic itself? Obviously, a little disappointing. The big news: Sovereignty won't be out there. Do you think that obviously to me it creates some opportunities here for some other horses? What's your take on the Classic itself?
Yeah, I mean it's really disappointing that Sovereignty's not in there. He's could have been the best dirt horse in the world. We were going to find out on Saturday. He was going to be a pretty solid favorite for horse of the year, all that stuff. But even without him, I mean, you got 5 horses in there that are, the next 5 best race horses in America. And they're all in there. We could have had 6 with Sovereignty, but hey, having 5 is nothing to sneer at. You got Fierceness, who's probably going to wind up being the betting favorite. You've got Sierra Leone, who beat Fierceness last year in the Breeders' Cup Classic. You've got a Japanese horse in Forever Young, who's actually run the best race of any of the horses in the field. It was in Saudi Arabia earlier this year. Those are the 1, 2, 3 finishers in last year's Classic. Sierra Leone, Fierceness, Forever Young. It's only the second time in 42 years of the Breeders' Cup that the 1, 2, 3 from the Classic the previous year all came back and ran the next year. Plus, you've got Journalism, who was second to Sovereignty in the Derby and the Belmont and won the Preakness in that scrum. And then you've got Baeza, who was third in the Derby, third in the Belmont. And he's really improved, I think, over the last few months. So that's 5 horses right there, any of which would not be a surprise at all.
Sounds like a good dart throw. Yeah, I know our guy Chase likes Forever Young around maybe at 20-1. So what and he's that horse is coming over from Japan. What do you like about Forever Young going into this?
Well, he won't be 20-1. He'll probably be 6-1 or something like that. If he's 8-1, it's a bargain. So here's the thing. He ran in the Kentucky Derby as a 3-year-old, came over here, proved that he could come from Japan, handle the travel. And it was no easy travel because they went from Japan to the Middle East and then from the Middle East to America. And
I mean, again, it always cracks me up seeing the photos inside the horse planes where these horses have just awesome setups and then first class. They're treating these horses great.
It's an asset. Sean.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
If you remember the Kentucky Derby from 2 years ago, 3 horses came to the wire right together.
Yeah.
They were heads apart. The closest finish in Derby history. He had Mystic Dan that won it. He had Sierra Leone that finished second, and he had Forever Young that finished third, the Japanese horse. But the Japanese horse was only beaten maybe a neck and a head, and he was bothered by Sierra Leone. It should have been a disqualification. He should have been put up to second. He ran a great race. Okay, then he goes earlier this year to Saudi Arabia and runs in a race called the Saudi Cup, $20 million purse, richest race in the world. Okay. He wins it narrowly over a Hong Kong horse who's amazing as well. And it was the best race run on dirt anywhere in the world this year. Those 2 horses, Romantic Warrior, Forever Young won it. It was amazing race, the race for the ages. And the question is just simply going to be, can Forever Young get back to that form? If he runs that race back again, he'll win. He had one race after that in Dubai. He was over there in the Middle East, so let's go ahead and run him for $12 million in Dubai. But the huge race that he ran in the $20 million race took a little bit out of him. And there were some other issues as well. They gave him a lot of time off, gave him one prep race for the Breeders' Cup in Japan. He wins it. Now they come in here. They're pretty confident they got him back. And he's got a great chance at a good price.
Yeah,
it's got to be amazing to own a horse like that.
Yeah,
just the confidence that if the horse shows up, the horse wins. And that Derby was that weird sloppy track, if I remember correctly, when Mystic Dan won. So even that is kind of a weird element to throw. I mean, Forever Young. I feel like maybe not you, Sean, but I had a nice wager on Forever Young. I enjoyed that sweat. I remember screaming at we need a horse stewards or terrorists t-shirts.
Yes.
After that lack of a disqualification.
That is, I mean, when they go to the monitor there, it is high drama.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have memories of being in the Meadowlands, watching the Trotters live and then the OTB. And whenever it would go for that review, it just the intensity in the room with a bunch of like well dressed Italian men and then a bunch of scumbags. All like those are my childhood memories.
I like how you separated the well dressed Italian guys from the scumbags.
There are two crowds at the OTBs, and at least this is back in the 90s.
So Randy, is there any other horses you think that we should be on our horse radar? And real quick, I love the idea you mentioned horse of the year. Do they have an award show that they bring the horses to? And I love the idea that they're all sitting there.
The trainers probably.
They trot up to the award, get their little thing.
No four-legged individuals at the horse of the year ceremony.
Oh, come on. You got to get them there. They get a big sack of oats.
That's a good point. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. So one other horse to mention, I mean, I could go every race, but Saturday, to me, there are two horses you can say are the most likely winners. The Dirt Mile is a horse called Nisos, but he's going to be a really heavy favorite, Bob Baffert. But in the sprint, there's a horse named Ben Tornato.
Okay.
And he ran an amazing race earlier this year to prep for the Breeders' Cup just about a month and a half ago at Churchill Downs. And he's 5-2. He's the favorite, but it's a the odds are pretty spread out in that race. If he stays 5-2 or 2-1, I mean, that's better than the bank pays. And I think he's got a really good chance to win.
All right, Ben Tornato, going to keep an eye on him. And I like the expression better than the bank pays, because sometimes, and that's a good reminder, because as a horse racing, gambling guy, I look at 2-1. I'm like, oh, that's not a long shot price. I want
a 5.5 point dog.
Yeah. But 2-1 is pretty good return on your interest there. So yeah, 2-1, nice price. Randy, it's always awesome having you on. I know you're really busy this weekend. Appreciate you making some time. And I'm sure we'll hear from you down the line. Always enjoy chopping it up, talking ponies here. And of course, check out Randy, NBC Sports, Breeders' Cup. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. Appreciate it, Randy.
Hey, love talking to you guys. Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right, let it ride, man. Great time chatting it up with Randy and of course the Wolf of Oaklawn. Make sure you check out the Wolf of Oaklawn's podcast, the Notorious OTB, on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast, and a good reason to subscribe to the SGPN network feed. You get all the picks, all the podcasts in one convenient feed. So appreciate everyone there. And then a reminder, bonus episode brought to you by First Bet, the #1 stbet.com. Sign up, give it a shot here in the Breeders' Cup. Get your start working on your $250 sign up bonus when you use our promo code SGPN.
I'm looking at the feed right now for Notorious OTB. I mean, it's nothing but Breeders' Cup talk.
Yes, tons. And they're going to be hitting up all the races we didn't get to. This was just like a high level, but
Monday, Breeders' Cup Future Stars Friday Pedigree. Tuesday, Breeders' Cup 2025 European Shippers to watch. Please tell me he had Malcolm on that episode. And then Wednesday, $100 budget, which is that's the core episode.
Yeah, that's the longer one. Then there's a bonus, or the other daily ones are shorter episodes. So a lot of ways to win over on the NOTB podcast. Kramer, we're going to be back live later on tonight, breaking down NFL Week 9.
No.
Well, sometimes I mess it up.
But
I'm loading up on Juvenile Love, my favorite horse.
You gotta be careful.
I'm glad I didn't go with an Epstein Island joke. You saved it. P. Diddy somehow was less offensive. I think, I don't know, more timely than the Epstein Island joke I was about to make.
Yeah, no, it felt like that. It feels like Diddy's one of those things you can be offensive, but everyone agrees, so it's just everyone just moves on.
It doesn't beget a bunch more questions. So yeah, Randy likes Ultimate Love there, and yeah, very fun episode as always. Big thanks to Randy Moss and Chase, aka the Wolf of Oaklawn, and of course, as always,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean. Second the Money Greenies, Ryan
Giddy up.
Kramer. Let it ride.
I'm wet. I want better fucking execution. Decide.